It is a reminder. I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so, having said that, I want me some glory hole.
What? You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
And now, it's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mosette, and here is your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, Mosette. And welcome to a special playoff edition, episode 624 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, as your Seattle Seahawks get ready to take on the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. And what can I tell you? A lot of people thought we wouldn't be here, but it's playoff football for your Seahawks this season. So glad to be back here for our 149th actual episode 624, believe it or not. Let's meet our posse, as always, for this episode. First, the yin to my yang, it is Matt from merry old England. Hi, Matt.
Good morning, Moses. How are you?
Fantastic, sir. How are you?
Well, I'm a little bit tired, but I'm preparing myself for a very long weekend because I've got this evening going through till 4 in the morning, and then I've got tomorrow night, Saturday night, Sunday morning, going through to 4 o'clock in the morning as well for the game. So basically, I'm not having any sleep this weekend.
My goodness. That, folks, is what a fan is all about right there.
That's what happens if you pick a West Coast team rather than an East Coast team. And...
Yeah, that's your bad, man.
Yeah, that's
my
a fan,
fault.
man.
It's on me, man.
That is a fan, Matt. We'll send you some caffeine and some, I don't know what all. You send us some chocolate. I don't know what we can send you. Some coffee, I guess. We'll send you some Starbucks or something.
I think from Seattle we usually send like salmon and stuff. So
like keep you awake? Caffeine and fish? I don't
know.
You
can send me senators, congrosmen. They're not doing anything at the moment. So.
Very true.
And Matt can dress like Cam Newton to put a smile on his sister's face.
No, yeah.
Nice.
I don't wanna.
Yeah. Someone who puts a smile on our face, of course, is our friend Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready for some playoff football.
I think we all are. Hey, how is our mascot Kona? Your dog Kona's kind of become our mascot. How is she?
She's doing well. It was a good week for her. Didn't get in any real trouble, so that's good.
I'll have to talk to her. We'll fix that. Hey, also, our man behind enemy lines is here. It's Mark. Statsman Mark. How are you, sir?
Well, tennis fellas, the lamp is burning bright.
Lamp burning bright.
Lamp bright. No, it's good to be here. It's I love the reminders of like aging. I'll turn 50 this year, which is considering when I was in college, the over-under on my life was 46 and a half. I'm relieved to cover that number.
Welcome to the club, my friend.
But I'm dealing with sciatic nerve pain of all things.
Oh my goodness.
And I also know I'm reminded of how much I goofed off in college because I have to answer to somebody at work, a client who's 20 years younger, and English is their second language.
No.
Geez, I really should have hit the books.
Real quick, you talk about lamp a lot, and Mike Pascal, who's a listener of the show and also part of our challenge, he said, "Where's the lamp thing come from?" If you don't know where it comes from Anchorman, Brick. Mark has anointed himself. We did not anoint him, but Mark has anointed himself the brick of this group. And talks about how he loves lamps. So that's why the lamp thing came up, so if you're wondering. But also, sadly, our newshound...
Start doing butter adverts.
Yeah.
Sadly, our newshound, Will, is not here for the show. He was last seen on top of the Space Needle right before midnight scene. Top of the world, Ma! Top of the world! And I don't think that worked out well, but we'll find him, I'm sure.
And holding his cat.
Yeah, Mr. Biggles. Hey, gentlemen, let's get to the show, shall we, Fergie?
Let's get it started in here.
Yes, this show is run just like a real NFL football game. We have 4 quarters and even a halftime. A little different this week. Card recap is going to be quarter 1. So we're going to recap last week's game at quarter 1 this week. Second quarter, we're going to talk about our 6th annual 12-Man Fan Jam Show award show nominations and tell you how you can vote for that very show. At halftime, it is the best Seahawk-themed play-along game on the internet, 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia.
Of the world.
And Matt, I believe you ordered a trophy last week?
I did indeed. It arrived sparkly from China.
Fantabulous. So good luck repeating that tonight. Quarter 3, of course, we do weather, we do fashion, we do an injury report, and we do our numbers for the playoff game between your Seattle Seahawks and the Dallas Cowboys on Saturday night. We put that all together. Quarter 4, we make our predictions, our prognostications, and our game balls for that very game. Please, we'd like to remind you to like, share, subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join us on our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Also on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. Email 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com. Look for the downloadable podcast of this show on iTunes and Podbean. And let's go ahead and start the first quarter. All right, it is the first quarter. It's time to look back at the Seahawks win over the Cardinals, 27-24 in Seattle, ending the season 10-6, and guaranteeing a spot as the 5th seed in the playoffs. They would have gotten it anyway, I believe. But you know, I don't like Dustin. I don't math, so. I think they would have got it anyway. But
it must be a relief for all of your students.
It is. Mark, what are some thoughts about this game, this last game, way to end the season with a win?
Well, it was, it was just nice to finally beat the Cardinals. I did not anticipate it being the game, as the way this game went. It just seemed like, it would make sense that they might have been just thinking ahead. They're just anxious maybe to get this game done. I mean, it was, there was such an emotional high from the KC game and that win and clinching a berth that maybe it was inevitable. But, I guess we'll get into maybe, more detail later. But the special teams, that's the one thing going into the playoffs. It's like, what's going on with the punt team?
Yes.
There was still great plays, and it was good, and it's huge. even though it was 33 yards, actually that's a big deal for Janikowski to make a game-winning kick. He's done it before, but we need. We need him, and also just clean up special teams, and for the team, 100 and how many total yards rushing was it? 180, 160. Somewhere in there.
It was somewhere in there.
Which we've done a lot this year. So, it was a lot of things, but I could just overall, I just sensed that they're just anxious just to get to the playoffs in a way,
And that's what we call Statsman Mark Statsman. Mark
182, I think.
Is it 182 rushing?
Mm-hmm.
Which is right up the average. That's exactly, well, it's above the average. Yeah, 182, 34 attempts for 82. And being able to run the ball in a game like this, or any game, is essential. Matt, what else besides special teams did you see things that we might need to work on, and what are some bright spots from this game?
Offense. I don't know, our team sometimes is a real Jekyll and Hyde team. You never quite. You expect us to come out and play well. You hope that we'll come out and play well with both halves of the ball. But sometimes the offense shows up and the defense doesn't, and sometimes the defense shows up and the offense doesn't. God, if we can just have them come at the same time, that would be amazing. Yeah, if they were just there on the field at the same time, that'd be awesome.
So true.
If they were on the field at the same time, we'd get penalties. That's 22 players.
Honestly, I knew you were going to say it. I thought he's going to say
Wait, here you go. All right.
You're like Thrush, Dustin. You're a real irritating little. Anyway, bright spots. You're welcome. Bright spot. Well, what I will say, I haven't got bright spots. There was an awful lot of punts in this game for my liking. Far too many punts were going on. I think Jaron Reed, had a good game. 2 sacks, if memory serves.
Yes.
I think he was good. I think KJ Wright's. I'm sure it was KJ that did the guy did missile. Tackle straight up the middle.
On our game day thread on our Facebook page that we have every game day.
Yes, and I will talk about that just briefly too. Is that I made another spectacular balls up because I like to put a GIF image, obviously, every time we score a touchdown. I try to find new ones, and I tried to do sassy kids was my GIF of choice for this game. I got it. But unfortunately, sassy kids, there isn't that many of them.
Sassy kids gifts every time we scored, and he had one. We had a lot though.
I did, but exactly. But that was the point because we ended up there was 3 TDs in total, wasn't there? So it was like, oh crap. Just like, oh no, but there was only 2 of them. But yeah, so I think Reed was good. KJ was good. But the defense was good. That's the point. I think Chris Carson got his, as you would expect, with that touchdown and one for Mike Davis too, which is good. So. Yeah.
Good stuff. Before I go, Dustin, Mark Ty Turner, who is also a member of our wonderful posse prediction, and a great friend, tweeted out on Wednesday a little history on Hump Day. Russell Wilson has 6 10-win seasons. Before his arrival, the team had 5 in the whole history.
Wow.
That's a little knowledge for you. Dustin, pros and cons from this Cardinal game?
Only thing I really took out of it was that I'm not ever worried when they play a good team. I'm always more worried when they play a bad team because this team all year has played to the level of the competition.
Yes, agreed.
And so going into the playoffs, that's a good thing because there's good teams there. So I'm not worried about them having a bad game in the playoffs. So it was very, very frustrating. And then not having Fluker and Sweezy in there definitely made a big difference. The guards were pretty bad on special teams on the punts and whatnot. And
yeah,
I mean, I guess the real bonus there though was that when his punts weren't getting blocked, we were really making an effort to showcase our all-pro kip punter. So
yes,
that was nice.
That's a good point. Well, and I think I from what I heard, and I can't remember where I heard this, but I think DJ Fluker was healthy, but they were just holding him back because they need the game. And so there's one guard spot, and Sweezy's going to be a game. Well, I won't steal the thunder from Dustin here.
Spoiler alert.
The guards. Let's just say that at least DJ looks like he was healthy, and they just didn't play him. So I think the question of the block punts and the bad running up the middle and the 5 or 6 sacks. I think it was 6 sacks on Russell will probably be reduced with the help of the return of DJ Fluker. So, but I won't spoil Dustin's thunder there. It was, they do play down to the competition and play up to the competition. I think they've done that all year. That's what a young team does. And I actually said to Lil Mo, I wouldn't be surprised for the game. I wouldn't be surprised if this is either a close win or a close loss because this team does that. They play, they'll go play the Chiefs, and then, they lost to the 49ers, they beat the Chiefs, and then they almost lost to the Cardinals. That just doesn't make any sense if you look at it.
No, it doesn't.
But that's what this team is. So I'm just hoping that the Cowboys and their fans look at the last 3 games and go, well, look, they lost to the 49ers and they almost lost to the Cardinals, because that's definitely not what they're going to get.
They're already doing that. You already see it
and
across
that's
the
fine,
media.
and that's great. That's great because that's definitely not what this team is going to be. This is a young team, but it's a team that believes in itself, and it's a team that plays up to the competition or down the competition. And I think they'll be ready on Saturday night without any question. So a win's a win. 1 point, 20 points. Beating the Cardinals for the first time since 2014 at home.
Wow.
Which is, isn't that weird?
But the commentators also forget that part as well. That they obviously haven't been watching our seasons over the last 5 years to find out that this game never really goes as anyone plans.
No,
you can almost throw the papers out and just say it's just going to be, a slugfest all the way through.
You definitely can. So wrapped up the season 10-6. Like I said, 6th time for Russell Wilson, and we've had how many? 7 the whole time before, or
nobody was listening
5.
to you, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, team only had 10 wins. It had only 10 game wins or more before him. Only 5. This is his 6th. So and also to Pete Carroll and that coaching crew. So congratulations. Now, one thing this team is always known for being ready, and that is the playoffs. So we'll turn that way. But before we do, let's check on our Posse Prediction Challenge. All right. Posse Prediction Challenge this last week. First on the scores, it was 27-24. I gave a point to Mark Ty Turner. He had 21-20. He had the closest. We all had double-digit wins, so gave that one to Mark Ty Turner. Prognostications, a point to Lil Mo for saying Seattle would have 3 or more sacks. They had 6. Game Ball, gave a point to Jose and Dustin for Clark. Gave a point to Little Mo, Mike Pascal, Tom, Matt, and Moses for Carson. And a point to Lockett for Mark and Will. The over and under was over, because it was really low. Point to Little Mo, Mark Ty Turner, Mark, Tom, and Moses means week 16 looked like this. Little Mo with 3. Mark Ty Turner, Tom, Moses, and Statsman Mark with 2. Jose with 1. Dustin with 1. Mike Pascal with 1. Matt with 1. And Will with 1, meaning after 16 games, the individual scores look like this. Little Mo regains the lead, 35-34 over Jose. Moses at 29, grabbing his popcorn and watching those two duke it out. Tom at 26, Matt at 25, Statsman Mark at 25, Mike Pascal at 24, Mark Ty Turner 23, Will at 22, Dustin at 21, meaning as we go into the playoffs, with at least one more chance, hopefully more, Team 12, 143. Team Posse, 122. So they have a 21-point lead.
Yeah. Well, you give them the points. Stop giving them points.
Yeah, it's your fault.
I'll just lie. I'm sorry. You did not give me that score. No, I cannot do that, but that's all right. End of the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
All right, coming up on this wild card playoff edition of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, halftime trivia, weather, fashion, injuries, numbers galore. But next, we are going to take a look back at this season with nominations for our 6th annual 12-Man Fan Jam Awards. It's the Fan Jammy nominations right after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
Yep, it's the second quarter of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We're glad you're sticking around with us. This quarter, we're going to review our nominations for the 6th annual 12-Man Fan Jam Awards. That's right. We call them the Fan Jammies around here, if you haven't been around. Every year, we give our year-end Seahawk Awards at a special season finale edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, and that usually happens the weekend after the Super Bowl. So, you can vote for these nominations by either going to 12-Man Fan Jam Show on Facebook and finding the polls to vote there, or you can send the votes in either to our email at 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com or through Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. We'll be posting them up occasionally between now and then, regardless of what happens to the Seahawks as they march on to the Super Bowl. Here are this year's categories and nominations. First, we'll start with Matt. Matt, Offensive Player of the Year. I have Doug Baldwin, Chris Carson, Tyler Lockett, and Russell Wilson. What are your thoughts there?
You've picked all the ones I would have picked.
Okay.
So they're all there. I mean, do you want to say who I think should win?
No, you can if you'd like to tip your cap, or if you want to just
Chris
kind of...
Carson. I think it's got to be Carson. I think the man's just a rhino in a uniform.
Yeah, all right. Statsman Mark, what are your thoughts?
Well, I would agree. I mean, he, overcoming the injury and just, it's kind of like beast mode light, his style.
Yeah. Well done. Dustin?
I'd probably go Wilson, I think. 35 touchdowns this season is a pretty good year. That dude tied the record for franchise record, and then for in the season, touchdowns in the season, and then also became that same passed Mudbone for most touchdown passes for a quarterback in the franchise. So
career high and career low in interceptions.
Dustin, he's too short to be an NFL quarterback. I keep telling you this. You never listen.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I look up to him. So
of course you do. You have to look up to everyone.
There you go.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know who I'd vote for here. There's a lot of people here. I think what's overlooked is Tyler Lockett's season with Russell, which was that perfect passer rating thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is unbelievable. Cool. But I think that's worth noting. But I don't know who I would put, so I'll have to look at that. Next, we'll start with Dustin. Defensive Player of the Year. We have Frank Clark, Bradley McDougald, Jaron Reed, or Bobby Wagner.
I just don't see how it can be anybody other than Bobby Wagner. The dude was on fire all season long.
Yeah, this might be us.
Yeah, it was a season where got rid of guys like Michael Bennett and Richard Sherman, and then Averill retired. No Cam Chancellor. Legion of Boom's identity was gone. He was kind of the lone survivor once Earl went out too, and has helped lead this team and lead the defense. So, but I don't see how it can be anybody else.
Yeah, it became Bobby's team. Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's another kind of clear choice.
Yeah, I think
for
so,
Wagner, it's weird. I mean, we're all fans, and it's easy for us to forget how good he is because he's so routinely good. It's like,
it's very true.
That's his entire, story.
Yeah, Mark or Matt, sorry.
Well, I mean, there's a quick shout out there to El Thomas, I suppose, for best injury celebration.
Yeah, we need to add that category next year.
Wait a minute. Did he get injured so that he could be on the nominations?
Absolutely, almost certainly. Yeah, absolutely. And look, he did make it to Dallas. He just isn't gonna. You're right. I think there's a strong. I think there was a strong showing as well from Jaron Reed. I think I've mentioned his name several times in previous shows as well, where he's had a solid game, let's say. But yeah, definitely Bobby Wagner for me.
And even I think the third most sacks by a defensive tackle in Seahawk history. Tez, I think it's Tez, it's Sinclair, and it's him, I think. That's
So
a
I
pretty
think
good,
that's a strong showing.
That's pretty good company. Frank Clark had an amazing year, guys. I mean, he really did. And
it was a breakout year for him.
Breakout year for Frank Clark, without question. McDougal was, very valuable, made a big play whenever we needed one in the backfield. It came from number 30. It's a good group, but yeah, I don't know how you go without Bobby Wagner. The next, we have 2 new nominations this year, 2 new categories, brand new categories, both. One is touchdown celebration of the year, and this was hard to just get 4. And I know I'm going to miss a few here because this team had some wonderful, wonderful touchdown celebrations, but these are the 4 I came up with that I thought were maybe the best. Of course, there was the recreation of the tip, which was spectacular, all the way down to the handshake and the push in the face. There was the baseball brawl, which was where back when Ventura got hit by Nolan Ryan and they had the big fight. There was the Jerron Brown dance, the choreographed dance thing where the guys, and I think this is actually up for like the NFL celebration of the year, where they had the choreography thing and then they opened up like the Red Sea and Jerron Brown comes dancing through the middle. I love that. And then Iverson stepping over Lou, which was Lockett
That was pretty good.
2 into 3, and then stepping over, and I know there were others, but those were the 4 I had. Matt, is there another one I missed, or is there one there that you really liked? They're all good.
I think the one that I most liked was the recreation of the tip, only just because Sherman was there to see it as well. So I think that's mine, but I don't think you've missed any out.
That's pretty good.
I do like the Carson sleeping on the sideline.
Yeah, those were good too. There were a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
Dustin?
I think I like the dance party one the most. That was well choreographed, and it was pretty funny to watch him do that. That came out,
and it was
of nowhere.
original.
Yeah, it was.
That's
pretty
what
good.
I like about it. Yeah, I like that too, and that's up for a national one. Statsman Mark.
Yeah, the dance. I mean, it seemed a little bit different than others. I mean, the tip was a great one though too.
The tip was spectacular. What I like
awesome.
about the tip is they went all the way to the actual handshake and then the face slap. At the end. I mean, they went all the way to the end, which was spectacular. But yeah, I'm kind of partial to the dance as well, just because it's original. But they had so many fun celebrations this year. It was hard to pick 4. And then another one is new Seahawk of the year or newcomer of the year. This is a guy who was not in a Seahawk uniform just last year. So yes, J.R. Sweezy is eligible. So new Seahawk of the year: Michael Dixon, DJ Fluker, Rashad Penny, or J.R. Sweezy. That's quite a combination there, Dustin.
I got to go with the punter. You gotta go with the punter.
Punting Jesus. Matt, you going,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was way too much fun. I mean, and you'd never have hype over a punter.
No. Well, little Mo bought his jersey and swore he was going to get his autograph, and we stood there and we got down to our seats in the end zone, and they were on the other side. And he's like, "Why are they on the other side?" I said, "I don't know." No. So we never got him, and we never got his attention, because when he was trying at halftime, I said, "Don't bother him. They're working on something, But like earlier,
if you ship it out here, I'm sure we can make it happen if we ship it out here.
Yeah, maybe we'll figure that out. I think he really wants his autograph.
I think the thing is, he also seems to have so much fun on the field, because he's a little bit. If you watch some of the behind the scenes stuff, and he almost looks like a little bit like sort of a lost rabbit, really. That sort of.
He looks like I'll do it. Yeah, you can hear him saying, "I'll do whatever." I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll do it. I'll just do it. Right. Exactly.
He gets out there and does it, which is great. I mean, I think obviously he had a tough week last week, but as far as his the positioning, the game starting positioning, where the field position where you place your opposition is so important for us, really.
Yes.
And
he had one of the most fun plays too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry, where he
totally.
4th down, where he went for it.
Ran out the end.
I love the fact that nobody knew he was going to do it but him. That's brilliant.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Mark, your thought on new Seahawk of the year?
It's between Dixon and
Fluker, Penny, and Sweezy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll roll with the Aussie. I think they called that play now the Aussie sweep or whatever when he ran. I mean, I still that thing was incredible. Dennis, you pointed out, I think during that game to me it looked, I couldn't tell, was it planned or whatever, and you're like, well, was it kind of an option thing, safety?
It was not an option thing. He was not supposed to do it. He was supposed to take
that
the
was
safety.
Not supposed to happen.
No, there was no option there, dude. And I thought it looked like an option where it looked to me like he was being told roll out to the right, and if it's not there, sit down, is what it looked like. But when he rolled to the right and his eyes got big and he started running, nobody expected that.
Nobody saw
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty great. Well, let's give some credit to, J.R. Sweezy coming back. Who thought that would be a huge, huge lift to our line? DJ Fluker was spectacular. And Rashad Penny, okay, he didn't run for a lot, but he did make a difference in a few games. And you see a lot of goodness in Rashad Penny coming up. So a lot of good newcomers on this team. Yeah, a lot of potential. And last nomination we're going to talk about in the show, and there'll be other awards on the award show. But game of the year, Seahawks over Cowboys. This is regular season. Seahawks over Cowboys 24-13. Our England Bowl, the Seahawks over Raiders 27-3. Seahawks over 49ers 43-16. And, of course, the Chiefs game. I think I know. I'm going to ask, but Matt, which one are you going for there?
I'm going to go for the England game, but not really because it was here, but because it was the game when everything gelled for them. I think even Russell said this. This was the game where something clicked. And
complete game. I agree.
It began to happen. So, So for me, not only did I get to witness it in my home country, but also it was that game.
Totally agree.
Yeah, that was when McDougal took Amari Cooper out.
Yes. Yes, he did.
Another chance tomorrow.
That's true. Dustin, what are your thoughts?
Oh, the Kansas City game.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. Night game, and just the team that came in there was an awesome team, and the Seahawks just stepped up and got it done. And Russell Wilson outdueled Mahomes, and
it was
everything about that game was awesome.
Yeah, it was all right. So that's my mark.
Yeah, I'll go. I got to go Chiefs as well.
Yeah,
it's just. Yeah,
what can you say? Yeah, being there, and that's the best game I've ever witnessed in the Seahawks stadium. Out of 12 or 13, I think. Just watching it, and then coming back to Neil's apartment to watch it like the second half, and just being as amazed watching it on TV as we were when we were there. I love it when these games, no matter who's playing. All week it was hyped up as the Magic Man, and for the teams to live up to the hype is always fun, and it's great for ratings. But wow, that was a game that if we had not had either team, I would have watched it with my son because we stay up over holiday break and watch the games. I would have been like, we looked at each other like we did last week. Last year, I think it was the Chiefs and the Raiders that got down to like the very last play or whatever. And we looked at each other and said, go back on the field and play again. That was fun. Let's do another one. And that's what this was. Again. Hey, put another 15 up there. Let's keep going. Let's put it 0-0. Let's see what happens now. But just a wonderful game on both sides. So I agree. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put polls up on Monday, which is the 7th of January. And we'll put polls up in each category on the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page. You can vote there on those polls, or you can, again, send us votes to email at 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com or Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. And the deadline is going to be Monday, February 4th. That is the Monday after Super Bowl. We will have our award show and our 6th season finale. We will record that on Friday, February 8th, which is the weekend after Super Bowl Sunday. So get out there and vote, and then listen to our season finale in February and listen to our show, because we'll also have some other very interesting categories to give out for sure, as we do every year. So that is our 6th annual Fan Jammies, and let's go to halftime.
Holy shit, it's halftime.
All right, coming up, so much more. Playoffs? Playoffs? We talking about playoffs? Yes, we are. All these answers and more are just around the corner, but first, another fine edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia, and that's coming up next.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity. Yes, thank you, and welcome to another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia.
Of the world.
the trivia game that tests the knowledge of both our posse and our listeners. Our contestants are the posse themselves, Dustin, Statsman, Mark, and Matt. And yeehaw! How about them rules? So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-man Fan Jam Show trivia champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline. Before taping this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take the quiz as well. If the contestants want to know what the kids said, they can ask that but once and only once during the entire game show and only in the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia. All right.
Wow.
Those are the rules presented for this show. As always, you can ask the kids once in the first 2 rounds because they took the quiz as well. Last week's champion.
It was
felt like
it
was. Oh, it was. Matt, 1, 2, or 3?
I'll go 1, please.
Matt will go 1, please. Mark, 2 or 3?
3.
Mark goes 3. Dustin, you get number 2.
Not again.
You are number 2. All right, here we go. Matt, your question is not a football question.
Oh, shit.
All right, here's the deal. What was the number 1 song in the USA for the year the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl? Was it Because You Loved Me?
Hymn?
Was it Was it Because You Loved Me by Celine Dion?
Oh, beautiful.
Was it One Sweet Day by Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men? Or was it The Macarena by Los Del Rio? Oh my goodness. Dance!
Oh my goodness. Well, I have to be honest, I'm not very good when it comes to musical stuffs. So I will have to ask the kids.
Ask the children? They weren't born at that time, you know.
Well,
this is like way back,
anyway,
yeah.
So whatever they choose, I'll probably have to do the opposite. So.
Oh, I see. Well, Mosette said Because You Loved Me by Celine Dion. Little Mo said One Sweet Day by Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men. Nobody said the Macarena.
See, well, it was 96, so I think it's going to have to be. I think it's the Macarena.
You think it's the Macarena? Okay.
Yeah, because they didn't pick it.
Why?
Because they didn't pick it.
Oh, well, okay. You said the Macarena. Yeah! It is the Macarena.
That's the way you do it, Mark. I promise you. You just pick whatever the kids don't pick.
There's a method.
Yeah, it's just extraordinary.
Method of madness. Dustin.
Yes.
When the Seahawks beat the Cowboys earlier this season, how many? Yeah, I did too. How many turnovers did the Cowboys? Yes. No. How many turnovers did the Cowboys have in that game? 1, 2, or 3? How many turnovers for the Cowboys?
Zeke had a fumble to. I think probably 2. I don't remember exactly.
I think probably 2. Yeah. All right. Well, Mosette and Little Mo said 1. But you said, no, I think it's 2.
I did.
Nah. Sorry, it was 3. It was 3.
No, I'm not sorry. It's 3.
I'm not either. 3. They can do that again tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Mark.
Mm-hmm.
When the Seahawks beat the Cowboys earlier this season, how many times was Russell Wilson sacked? Once, twice, or 3 times a sack?
Now, come on. What's the rule, Mark? What's the rule with that song?
Well, let's see.
That's
here.
not a clue, believe me.
I know. I know. Will he go there again? You know what? I never remember to ask the kids, so I'll ask the kids.
No, he's gonna. Matt's going. Good. All right. Mosette said 1. Little Mo said 2. Nobody said 3.
Oh,
What's
wow.
the rule, Mark? What's the rule?
Let's see. Lamp here. Spirit of Matt. Lamp says 3. We'll fade the. We'll complete the lyrics.
Excellent.
Unless Matt set up lamp.
Did Matt set up lamp? All right. No, he did not. Unfortunately, it is 2. So Lomo actually got that. I'm sorry.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yes, perfect. Okay, so Matt has 1, Dustin has none, and Mark has also 0. We'll go the same order. Matt, 4, 5, or 6.
6, please.
Okay. Mark, 4, 5.
4.
And it leaves Dustin with 5.
Okay.
All right, Mark, number 4. When the Seahawks beat the Cowboys in the playoffs back in 2007, that wonderful game, how many interceptions did Matt Hasselbeck throw in that game? 1, 2, or 3?
Oof.
Ooh, another 1, 2. Once, twice, 3 times an interception for Matt Hasselbeck.
Damn, I don't. Yeah, I'm going to go 1.
Damn, I am in tune tonight. Mark's going to go 1.
I was thinking the same thing.
Mosette went 2.
Completely
Little
different.
Mo went 3. You went 1. Nah. It's 2. So, Mark uses Matt's theory, and it does jack squat for Mark.
Let the fear flow through you.
I like it too because there really
Like
wasn't
the
much of a. That was just a straight buzzer shot to the head. There really wasn't much of a delay. It's like, yeah, it's just
A straight
the way it
buzzer
is.
shot to
Dennis's
the head.
fingers over the
concussion.
buzzer at all times when I answer, and then only occasionally does he have to shift left or right to hit a bell.
Yeah.
I've got it ready to go. Yeah, yeah. I keep it handy almost as much as the porn music. Dustin,
Yeah.
Dustin, what was the number 1 box office movie in America the year the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl? Was it Independence Day, Mission Impossible, or Twister? That's
What
a
year was
lot
it?
of. I'm not gonna tell you.
There's some good films. I told you earlier on.
Yeah, you already did. Independence Day, Mission Impossible, or Twister. That's some
Oh my god,
money-making films there.
Twister.
Remember how amazed we were when Twister came out? Wow, look at them special effects. Woo!
We got
Yeah.
cows.
Look at that cow flying. Yeah.
And Independence Day, welcome to America. Boom.
So-
Earth,
so
or whatever it
this
was.
is the number one grossing.
into the night.
This was the number 1 grossing film of the year. You said.
For that year. Number 1 box office movie in the USA for the year the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
I like Will Smith.
Have we-
I'll say Independence Day.
Have we stalled enough for you to check on Google?
Yeah.
No, I was honestly trying to go through my head to think if they came out. No.
That's awesome.
What year was that again? Okay, hold on. I'm not. Okay, yeah, there we go. You said Independence Day?
I did.
Mosette said Independence Day. Little Mo said Twister. Yeah, it's Independence Day. Dustin's up on the board.
I just think President
yeah.
Whitmore was the best president you've ever had or didn't have.
Who's that?
He had
President,
a very
President
inspiring
Whitmore.
speech.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll not go quietly
Today-
into the night.
Today is our Independence Day.
And then they had the
Lord.
British people, and they had the British RAF officers like, where are the Americans? Good grief. Tally ho, get away, aliens to kill. Where are the Americans? No. Clearly an American director.
Oh my God. Can we make them more foppish, please? Can we make them... They're,
Well, at
they're
least we weren't
English,
the
but
enemy
they're
for
not
once.
gay enough.
At least
Can
the
we make
aliens,
them
at least the
gayer?
aliens
Yeah.
didn't have a British accent for once.
Hello, yes,
That-
really good. Coming
Independence
to
Day
your,
got my own personal Razzie Award when that thing came out. It was just like,
Oh,
It was
man.
a good movie.
I thought it was a good movie.
It was
Yeah.
fun. All right, Matt.
Yeah.
When the Seahawks beat the Cowboys in the playoffs in that 2007 game, how many times was Tony Romo sacked? Once, twice, 3 times sacked.
Twice.
You sure got a
Twice.
thanks for sack, dude.
That was quick. Why is that so
I
quick?
knew the answer.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. How'd you know the answer? You cheating?
No. How do you not know that Romo game has been on the television all week?
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you very much.
They said that, huh? Okay. Well, fine.
Did you see how he put the ball down at the end there? Did you see that?
What? Tell me about that.
What?
No. All right. It is Matt 2, Dustin 1, Mark 0. It's time for the final question. Maybe.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. It's not time for the final
Potentially.
question.
Yeah, we're not doing this game anymore.
Yeah. I quit.
Okay, what else? Hold
Trade
on.
me. I'm like Antonio Brown. I'm leaving at
All right,
halftime.
hold on.
Gotta go find my pink coat.
Hold on here. There it is. Final question. It is high-low, of course. The closest without going over gets 2 points. There is a chance for a special deep-cut overtime question here, but we'll see. The order will be Mark, Dustin, and Matt. Here you go, gentlemen. Indeed. So we start with Mark. Mark, the question is about that playoff game. Back in 2007 between the Seahawks and the Cowboys, how many rushing yards did Sean Alexander have? How many rushing yards did Sean Alexander have in that game, Mark?
Oof, man.
Just enough.
Yeah.
All these trivia questions during years I was still drinking heavily. Let's see. To keep the show moving, I will say 85.
85 to keep the show moving.
Moving, baby.
Yeah, Dustin.
107.
85, 107. Matt?
I say you had 1 yard.
1 yard, you say?
He had 1 yard. Oh.
Yep,
1
all
yard.
the way up to 84. Which means I
Price
go
is
all the way
right.
up to
Shitty
84.
Price is righted to
Shitty
both
game.
y'all.
I know he had more than that. I've watched it.
1 yard and said, forget it. I'm done.
His foot started hurting, probably, I guess.
Yeah, well, guess what? When the Seahawks beat the Cowboys in the playoffs back in 2007, Sean Alexander had 69 rushing yards.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember
I'll
him
take
being
it.
that
good.
means.
Oh,
Order it up.
so that's why either that or I've just ordered Viagra. I don't know.
Fantastic. Matt from merry old England reclaims his championship banner for this week, and he is our 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime champion for this episode. Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, well played, everybody. All right. This has been another crowd-pleasing, heart-stopping, award-winning edition of your 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia.
Other world.
Other world.
Other world. We'll be right back with the second half of the show right after this. Sex Pistols, take us out.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
I'm surrounded by idiots! Idiots!
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
Yes, welcome to the third quarter of your 12-man Fan Jam Show. Hey, you! Yes, you, dropping your balls like it's still New Year's Eve. Looking for a New Year's Eve resolution you can keep? How about this one? Like, share, and subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. All free and fun ways to make us part of your pregame Seahawk fix. Do it now before your gym membership runs out. Oh, no, it's too late. All right. Hey, it's time to talk about the playoffs. We talked about the end of the year. We had our awards nominations. We had a fun trivia halftime. And now it's time to talk about the Saturday night game between your Seattle Seahawks and the Dallas Cowboys. So, showtime is, I believe, 8:30, gentlemen. Is that correct? Somebody want to correct me if I'm wrong?
Yeah, I'll correct you. It's 1:15 in the morning.
All right, 8:15, 1:15 in the morning, 8:15 on the Eastern Coast, and 5:15 out there on the West Coast. So it should be a great matchup, a lot of fun, and on a Saturday evening, what more could you ask for? So we are going to talk about that game coming up. And we do that by first looking to see how healthy these teams are by turning to our own doctor, Dr. Dustin, with the 12-Man Fan Jam Show injury report. Dr. Dustin, tell me the news.
Doctor, give me the news.
All right, so we're going to go with Cowboys first. They have one player that's ruled out, defensive end David Irving. His ankle is injured. Then we're going with their doubtfuls. Offensive guard, Xavier something I can't pronounce with an ankle injury. So he's offensive lineman. He's a starter if I remember correctly. So that's actually helpful for the Seahawks.
We enjoy that. We enjoy that injury.
We like that one. That's a good one. Questionable. We have Tavon Austin, who we know pretty well from his time with the Rams. His groin hurts. Tough. And then safety Darian Thompson is also enjoying a groin injury. So
how do you enjoy a groin injury?
Them glory hole days, they're just too rough at the wall.
They are way too rough around the groins down there in Dallas. Don't play for Jerry Jones.
It looks like Xavier Suafilo.
That sounds really good. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with that.
That sounds really good.
I'm going with that.
All right, then over to the Seahawks. CJ Procise is still on the IR.
No.
Yep.
Well, that's our game ruined.
We're doomed.
We're still there. And then we have unofficially nobody on the official report that was put out as far as on paper is ruled out of the game, but Pete Carroll all but said Trey Madden's not playing because of his hamstring.
Right.
So don't expect to see him. And the only other injury that we even have is J.R. Sweezy. He's questionable. He's going to be a game-time decision, and he's got a weird foot injury thing he's been dealing with.
Right.
But Sweezy sounds like he's going to play, and Pete Carroll seems pretty confident he's going to play as well. So
excellent.
Yeah, and that's it for us.
Gotta love that. Really, really healthy going into playoffs for us.
Healthy as we can be.
Yeah, and Trey Madden just can't stay. He can't stay healthy. It seems like he pops up 2 or 3 times, and the guy does a nice job. He's really improved his blocking as a fullback. Just kind of having bad luck with injuries. It sounds like.
Yeah, he's a little Procise-ish in that way.
Yeah, a little bit. And of course, Procise hanging desperately onto the IR. So
yeah. It's his comfort zone. It's like his comfort
congratulations. That was a nice. That was a really good injury report, Dr. Dustin. That was nice. Thank you.
Yeah, I like it when there's not much for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I enjoy that too. And now we're going to take a look at what the weather's going to be for that game as we turn to a guy living in England. It is time for the 12-Man Fan Jam Show weather and fashion report with Matty from merry old England. Oh, Matt.
Yes, thank you, Moses. So we're off to Dallas, to Jerry World, to the Lone Star State, to a dome, which means my obvious linguistical and meteorological talents are utterly pointless here. It's going to be a climate-controlled 45 degrees or something similar with no chance of rain and absolutely no wind. Although, at least I'm a little more confident than the NFL weather report, which said, and I quote, that as this is a dome game, weather shouldn't be an issue.
Shouldn't.
So you're telling me there's a chance? As for what to wear to this game, we're in Dallas. Well, Arlington, Texas. The land of Stetson hats, rolled sleeve shirts, cowboy boots, chaps, and 70s moustaches and glasses. To scrap all of that. It's far too stereotyped. No. What we need at this Cowboys game is something modern, something edgy. What we need is the angry vegan look. That's what we need. Just eat nothing but cardboard for a couple of hours. Get all pale and pasty and testy and angry and wear anything with non-animal fibers, no leather sandals, get some really badly done dreadlocks with terrible split ends, random facial piercings, terrible BO because you don't use any deodorant because, it's got animal fat in it, and wave around a crazy placard that says stupid things like animals are humans too, even though they clearly aren't. Just throw a Hawks jersey over all of that and you're good to go. That being said, it looks like it's going to be perfect Seahawks weather. So, Moses, back over to you.
Oh, wonderful, Matt. Thank you for a wonderful weather and fashion report.
You're welcome. I look forward to hearing about lots of angry vegans.
Yes, and if you are an angry vegan, remember you write 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com, care of Matt. Yes.
My neighborhood's filled with them.
It's California. Yeah. Of course it is.
Yeah. What are you doing here?
What are you doing?
And
Santa
now
Monica.
I took the 5 up to Riverdale and I turned right on to Ocean Drive. Okay. The Californians, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
That's the Californians.
Yes. And now a guy that always has our number, the man with numbers and tokens all around him. It is time once again for Statsman Mark and the 12-Man Fan Jam Show by the numbers for our game and maybe a couple of teasers, Mark.
Ricky, don't lose that number. Ricky, don't lose that number. Ricky, don't lose that number.
Boy, we're hitting high notes there.
I know.
Yeah. Well, hey, hello everybody. Yes, we will see. First off, the regular season finale. I actually, a couple of things. Number one, I was not able to see the bookie, and little did I know, I actually had 3 winning cards in my hand I was not able to turn in. So it's just been that kind of year. Yeah, that would have totaled $150 anyway.
So you can't turn us in late. I don't know how this works.
Anyway, well, yeah, it's a local, local person.
So you can't turn it in now, like it's a week and you're done.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
You can't turn them in local. I mean, you can turn them in late. Like you can't say, okay, this was from 2 weeks ago or whatever.
Oh well, the results. No, they're not redeemable.
Oh.
No. Anyway, so but for the season, funny because my 3 picks went 3-0, so I closed 23 wins, 27 losses, and a tie.
Congrats.
Which is not really too bad. I think people thought, hey, it could always be worse for the lamp. So, and meanwhile, the Seahawks are 2-point underdogs, at least the line I looked at, and the over/under for the game is 43.5.
All right.
Which I guess they're counting on the defenses. And then in terms of picks, I basically you could for the tease wise, you could take pretty much all the underdogs and tease them up 6 points.
Oh, okay.
So you can get Seattle +8, San Diego Chargers +8, Indy +7.5, and what's the other one? Chicago hosting.
Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles. You could have the Eagles in 12. I don't know. That one's kind of the one where I may go the other way. You could tease it down to a 0 for Chicago. So
well, the thing is, you talked about the underdogs in this week in the 4 games. Those are 4 pretty good underdogs. I mean, we talked earlier before the show. The Colts are red hot going into the playoffs. The Eagles are red hot. We're red hot. I mean, everybody is red hot going into these playoffs.
Well, and this may be the first time all year, but here is some actually useful betting info for those who have access. Apparently, in the wild card round, if you just simply pick the winner of the game, 89% of the time they cover the number anyway.
No. There you go.
And that's why they call teasers a sucker bet.
Check out the big brains on Mark.
Well, I'm just echoing the thoughts of others who do all the homework. So
wonderful. Well done. Well done. Thank you, Statsman Mark. Those were some great numbers.
Numbers fun.
And remember, these numbers have been presented for entertainment purposes only. The 12-Man Fan Jam Show does not endorse betting on anything at any time. Don't take these or anything we say on the show ever seriously, ever in your whole life, please. Thank you, gentlemen. That is the third quarter.
It's the end of the third quarter, bitches.
All right, here we go. Coming up next, predictions, prognostications, and game balls for your Saturday night playoff game against the Cowboys. You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We are your pregame glory hole. We'll be right back.
What?
Hello everybody, this is Statsman Mark, and when I'm not listening to Charo's greatest hits on 8-track tape, I'm listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show.
Holy shit, it's the fourth quarter.
All right, it is time for the fourth and final quarter of this special playoff episode of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. This is when we make our score predictions, our prognostications, and of course, our game balls for the upcoming playoff game between your Seahawks and the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas Saturday night, 5:15 Pacific Time, 8:15 Eastern Time, and apparently 1 in the morning if you're over in England.
Yes, 1:15.
Yes. So let's look over our picks. Let's start with Team 12. Jose says, I'll say 28-24 Hawks. Prognostication, we get more rush yards than the Cowboys and game ball to Baldwin. Tom, going to be a tough game, but the Hawks pull it out 24-21. Defense gets a turnover to seal the game ball to Frank. Little Mo, 34-10. I don't believe in Dak in the playoffs, he said. Carson, 100 yards rushing, and Carson with the game ball. Mark, Ty Turner. It's tough to recall a more hard-fought season to the playoffs, maybe 83, when Knox took over and gave a few Hawks a chance to make the playoffs due to having the toughest schedule in the league. But this year was considered a rebuilding season, in quotes. think about all the Pro Bowlers that were either traded, released, injured, or retired. It's hard to rebound from that. And on November 15th, we only had a 27% chance of making the playoffs. Incredible.
Wow.
Yeah. By the way, I nearly predicted the exact score last week, but the Cards scored late in the game. They had to go for 2. But I knew we weren't going to blow them out. As for Saturday night's all right for fighting the Cowboys, he has Hawks 31, Cowboys 27. Russell Wilson throws 3 touchdowns to add to his team playoff record. And his prognostication is also a critical Dallas fumble late in the game will drastically alter the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
They will lose their mind if that happens.
They will. Mike Pascal, no Romo to replay slow-mo on a loop like that gorgeous Babs play from back in the day. But we should be able to pull off a glorious victory in the dome with a hole in its head. Score, Hawks 31, Cows 24. Prediction, Carson outruns Elliott. I'm desperate need of pity points. And game ball to Russell Wilson. Now for Team Posse, Will is not here. He sent his in. Seahawks 27-22. Seahawks with 5 sacks and Jerron Reed with his game ball. Matt!
Hello.
Hello. How are you, Matt?
I'm all right. I'm a bit tired. It's 3 a.m, but I'm all right.
Happy 2019, sir.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year to all the listeners, all 3 of you. Happy New Year.
All 2 or 3 of you. Yes. Score, prediction, and prognostication, sir?
Well, I'm very much in the same camp as Tom, I think. I'm going to go Seahawks 24, Dallas 21.
Oh, okay.
Because no point predicting losses now. We're in playoffs. The clock's been reset now. We're now at 0-0. Game, but I think Dak gets sacked twice.
Okay.
And I'm going to give my game ball to Frank Clark.
Ah, nice. All right. Statsman Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Lamphawk. We got to get you a jersey with Lamphawk.
Lamphawk. Yeah. You know, I just
Lamphawk.
yeah. Can you imagine? You know, we do a lot of you know, of course, glory hole jokes, and
yeah.
But with Jerry Jones, he's become bored of it because he already knows it's Jason Garrett on the other side. So he's so much no suspense.
Ouch!
For Jerry.
Whoa!
Yeah,
My
and here's a good pro-size jersey would be his name and then IR instead of a number. Just neat. So, boy, I wish I would have thought of those before the holiday. Okay,
No kidding.
So meanwhile, we pull away from Twisted Land.
That's
and
okay.
We get to the game, and I got, boy, we were all kind of thinking alike here. I have Seattle at 24-20.
Okay.
And I have that our defense will get 2 turnovers.
Ah.
And I'm going to give a game ball to Lockett because I think there'll be a few home runs, you know, in this game, some big chunk plays. So
nice, big chunk plays. We like big chunk plays. Dustin, hi buddy, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good. You got a game ball prediction and prognostication?
I do indeed.
Please share.
All right. I think Seahawks are going to win this game 28-24.
Okay.
Yep. I'm going to give my game ball to Chris Carson. And then my prognostication is kind of more of a bold prediction, I think, than a prognostication. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to say that there will be 0 touchdowns scored by Ezekiel Elliott.
I like it. Ooh. That's a different one, and I like it.
Yeah, it is.
Nice. 0 TDs by Elliott. Wow. That's something. That's interesting. Nice little twist there. Oh, I guess it's my turn. Well, the holidays are over, and the NFL and that can only mean a couple things. One, Cleveland Brown fans can once again look forward to shopping for a new head coach. 2, the Raider fans can get an early jump in transferring their probation officers to the state of Nevada. And 3, our Seahawks are playing playoff football, baby. Seahawks traveled to Dallas to play the Jerry Jones Glory Holes. I'm sorry, the Cowboys. The Cowboys are led on offense by Dak Prescott, who not only looks like what I think comedian Sinbad looked like as a middle schooler, and that includes facial hair, but whose name, Dak Prescott, sounds like he and Wade Weatherington spend their summers in the Hamptons with Muffy and the old gang, sipping mojitos and discussing who daddy's was the richest. They are also led on offense by the Ewok himself, Ezekiel Elliott, whose hair pretty much has its own jersey and helmet. But this is the playoffs. And while the Cowboys celebrate winning their division, the Seahawks have had a team with enough veteran leadership that they know how to win playoff games that I think it makes a difference. You can't buy a playoff win, Jerry. Watch the Seahawks have less turnovers than the Cowboys, my prognostication. This game may come down to veteran leadership, but the Seahawks will also have the better running back this day. As I give my game ball to Chris Carson, oh, Jerry, no glory hole for you. The Seahawks return to the playoffs as the team nobody wants to play, as they win Saturday night by a score of Seattle 31, Dallas 20. How about them Seahawks? Book it. All right. Wow.
Nice.
Thank you. Looks like it's time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12-man Fan Jam show to a sad close. We're glad you decided to waste some time with us. We are hopeful that you laughed a little. Maybe you learned a little something. What did we learn? Well, we learned that layup is pulled over to the dark side by Matt. We learned that Mark is used to a straight buzzer shot to the head. We learned that ProSize is still on IR, and we like big chunk plays. So, on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt, Newshound Shadowhawk Will, wherever he is, Statsman Mark, Dustin as the Beaver, Mike Pascal, Jose, Tom, Mark, Ty, Turner, Roger Goodell, Mozet, Little Mo, Tony Dorsett, Leon Lett, Raphael Septien. This is Moses saying until next week for another playoff game, go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
How about them Seahawks?